Hey guys, it's Coach Lori. Hope you had a good open today. I know I did. It's been a fun Saturday with the crew. Way to finish 25.1. This video is about insulin resistance. It's the Monday fix coming up. So I wanted to get a video out before I leave the state for a few days. Starting with the basics, glucose is a simple sugar, right, that provides energy to the cells throughout the body. You either run off ketones or glucose. It's obtained from what we eat. So whether it's a good carb, a bad carb, processed carb, fruit, vegetable, this glucose gets into the bloodstream after digestion. Insulin is a hormone produced from the pancreas. And what it does is it unlocks those cells so we can take the glucose and put them into our cells. Okay. When we eat, our blood glucose levels rise, right? If we are eating well, they don't rise too much. And a little bit insulin comes out and it does its job, puts it into the cells, we're good to go. Insulin resistance is what happens when we're eating, for lack of better terms, just a lot of crappy food, a lot of sugary foods. Remembering that it's carbohydrates that turn into sugar in the body, right? Not fats, not protein. So if I'm like, hey, lettuce wrap burger, but double fries with lots of ketchup and a milkshake, there's a lot of glucose. And my body's like, insulin, insulin, insulin. And after a while, your cells become resistant to the insulin, trying to unlock them to take up the glucose. And that is what insulin resistance is. Why it's important is that it's the driving cause of chronic illness and disease, right? It's right there at the forefront. So if you or someone you know has been diagnosed like pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic, whatever, your doctor's done nothing to check and catch you in the earliest stage, which is insulin resistance. Because for whatever reason, and it's not just this area, but from everyone I've talked to, doctors and nurses alike in the state, when we ask our doctors for a fasting insulin test, they run a fasting glucose test. And what we need to see is fasting insulin, fasting glucose, and A1C. So what I've done for the whiteboard for everyone at the gym is if they go to UltaLabtest.com and they create their own account. So I'm telling you what test to order, and you're ordering your own blood work. It's called suspected insulin resistance. And you go in, you set up your appointment at Quest or at LabCorp. And what happens is you go in, they do the venipuncture, the blood gets sent away, and then you get all three things: fasting glucose, insulin, and A1C. And then we talk about functional ranges on that. So just straight out the gate, I want to see everybody's fasting insulin under 6. It's a great test to run because if we get a hold of things earlier, then we avoid prediabetes, which is metabolic syndrome X, type 2 diabetes, and the problems that come from that. For my young women patients that I work with, this is a driver of polycystic ovarian syndrome. It exacerbates endometriosis. It makes fertility hard for a lot of women in their 20s and 30s when they're trying to conceive. For men, it tanks your testosterone. There's so many problems for men and women alike. So I just wanted to put some awareness out to our gym and anyone watching this so that they can understand if they're a really carb-based eater, right? If they're like, carbs are my staple, and they're like processed or just really crappy fast burning carbs, lots of wheats, lots of sugars, things like that, they're likely going to start feeling themselves slipping into that insulin resistance because your body, your pancreas can only handle like producing 10 times the amount of insulin it needs to produce all the time to help your cells that are no longer receptive to it before your pancreas just tanks. And then we're talking about type 2 diabetes and all the things that come with that. So for my coaches watching this, I've printed out the basics on glucose and insulin, what it is, the analogy that insulin is the key that opens up the body's cell. I love that. I got that from Coach Ty. And then I put a whole thing of insulin resistant symptoms down so everyone can see what's going on with that. And then, of course, the whiteboard has everything you need. So let's get healthy together. I hope you enjoyed that tidbit of health for the week. And I will see you guys in a few days when I'm back from Washington. Bye.